But a turning point into my business growing financially was when I started giving financially. Welcome to Leaf Notes, the podcast that helps your business take root and grow. I'm Adria Marshall, seasoned business owner and speaker.
And I'm Sydney Mafuka, artist, illustrator, and small business owner.
Join us each week as we take you on a journey through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. We'll dive into everything from social media strategy to protecting your business.
We'll even answer your burning questions such as, do I need a business plan? Should I form an LLC? Where should I promote my business? And so much more.
Together with our guests, we'll break down these topics into actionable steps, helping you build the business of your dreams.
So whether you're just starting or you're looking to scale, we got you covered.
So go grab your notebooks, your favorite beverage, and cozy up to receive practical insights and inspiration here on Leaf Notes. Let's go make your business dreams a reality.
How are you doing?
I'm doing so great. I am. Things are going well. Things are lining up this year pretty well. So got no complaints. Productivity is on the increase. Sales are doing good. Team is doing well. I feel focused. I'm really excited. What I'm mostly excited is about plans that our foundation has to help the homeless community. So that's really exciting. So I feel like once I guess most people are this way, right? Like once you have a plan and you kind of know your purpose, we should talk more about that in a podcast. But once you have a plan and you know your purpose, then you're kind of lined up and then you're fueled because it's not like you're just wandering around life, wondering what you're doing.
Well, because knowing what your purpose is a loaded question when you think about it.
What do you mean?
I mean, I feel like that's I don't know. I just feel like it's a heavy thing to be like, oh my God, what's my purpose in life? Because that's what I think of what my purpose is. You know,
you're just repeating words. So,
oh, sorry. It's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not, that just seems like, it feels like this big loaded goal that you're getting to. Like, I'm going to find this big Easter egg. That is my purpose. It seems very intimidating because what if the different phases through life that you go through, you have different purposes? Like what if right now, like what if right now your purpose is giving back because you are more established and you're like where you are like motherly in some ways and nurturing in those ways, right? Where I have wise things to say, but I'm not wise. Like, you know what I mean? Or there's I wouldn't say I'm not wise, but there's a different level of wisdom that comes with, I think, the time that you've lived on earth and experiences that you've had, right? So do you feel like purpose can change?
Absolutely, it can change.
Because like, what do you feel like your purpose was when you were in your 20s?
I don't even know if
like, did you feel like you
it
had
together? I don't know. Not falling off a fucking cliff. I don't know.
Yeah, like, you know, that's what I feel like. You're always like, oh yeah, finding my. I'm like, I'm just trying to like.
Yeah. So, have you been listening? You haven't. You've been going to church or listening to it or anything. So, what I would encourage you to do, Andy preached. And just so you guys know, Andy's our pastor at the church, so we attend. So it's Andy Stanley. Amazing. So he. At the new year, you know, you work on your resolutions, whatever. He kind of preached a series on this, right? And the way that he put it really resonated with me and it helped me to find my purpose. It was like it boiled down to what breaks your heart.
Oh, okay. So what breaks your heart?
Homelessness.
Okay.
And so for me, it was kind of, you know how God is, like in all his wisdom and stuff. So he kind of pulls things together, right? So already it was on my mind about, because our small group had been talking about handling your finances, you know, and going along in that is greed, you know, and we are super blessed. So even though we do give really generously, we have, you know,
received a lot.
We have a lot left over. And so I can tend to spend in Amazon. Oh my goodness. Especially with their 1-day shipping and same-day shipping. I mean, really.
It's tough.
You know, because I want something and it's there. Like the instant gratification is real, right? So for me, I've been really trying, like, what would I go broke for almost? What would I'll go broke for my kids, obviously, because tuition. I mean, we're keeping it 100, right? So what would I go broke for other than my family? What is that thing Because if not, then I'm going to spend it on myself, right? So what would I spend on? What would I passionately spend on and have zero regrets? Like, yes, we're going all in on this thing. So I had already been thinking about what that was, right? And then when Andy did his message or series on, getting your goals together, whatever, blah, 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 then we broke it down to what breaks your heart. And it's on the heels of also it being cold as hell here in Georgia. And then like when I would drive, like I've always, or lately I've been that way the past few years, where I see a homeless person in the cold and then I'm gone to get the Chick-fil-A for him, gone to get blankets, gone to get, like I brought this man who was homeless up the street, tea and blankets. Like, we're not freezing tonight. This is not what we're doing, right? So it's that's always been something that kind of tugged at my heart. So when he really broke it down to what breaks your heart, it was like snap, homelessness, right? And then because God weaves together, especially for me, I think in the Bible also, like it's like a great movie, right? Where you have like this plot over here happening, this plot over here happening, this plot, and then by the end of the book or movie, like they're all working together, and that's how it is for me, right? So already I've had the farm partnerships, right, going on. So really care about sustainability, our community, blah blah blah, and then have a foundation going, all right. Trying to figure out what the purpose is with that, all right. This passion for homelessness. Okay, a connection with a couple of organizations that work with farms, amazingly the same farmers that I'm working with, who are tackling food insecurity and food waste. So like it was amazing that all those were able to tie together with the foundation. Like the foundation, we can help supply jobs to homeless people using the farm. Farmers are trying to deal with food insecurity and food waste. Homeless people need food. They need jobs to provide purpose and shelter and things. And so this all came together, and I love it when the plan comes together. And so like once that happens, like bing, got my North Star and then rolling with it. So that kind of fuels me.
So before you came to this long-winded answer, right, because it's very current, did you, because there are a lot of podcasts and things about purpose.
Yeah.
Did you have another, how did that make you feel? Like,
so before, because, the business was doing well, right? I remember a year or so ago, the business was doing well. And at first the business was doing well. And then like, okay, what can we do? Like, what's the next step? What's the next step, right? And the next step, let's do wholesale. Like, okay, that's great. Blah, blah, blah. Doing wholesale, right? Then it's like, I can this. And I remember doing that. And we're making good money and doing well in the community. And then well, it has to be more than that. Then we really lean into sustainability. Because it's like, okay, what's next? Which is kind of in a quest to find your purpose, right? Like, what's next?
Like, how can we make
a bigger impact, make it better, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, well, we're doing a great thing. Like, we're really reducing plastic waste. We're really helping with confidence, especially in the Black community, where that can be a thing with hair and all over. Just the acceptance of your natural hair, what's coming out of your head, saving women time in the morning. Love that, especially single women. I used to be a single mother, so I used to be a single mother.
Or even just like good products for their kids.
Good products for your kids, products that actually nourish you, that are really good for you. So and I kind of felt like, the children's novels or the books, like, are you my mommy? You know what I'm saying? So like, well, maybe that's it, because that's admirable, but it just didn't feel like that completed me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it was okay for a time, and definitely it was good stuff, but it didn't feel like that was like really, really it. Because although treating the environment poorly does break my heart, that does. And I was at the point of like, is it sustainability? Because it does break my heart, but it doesn't break my heart to the point of where it keeps me up at night. Like, there's been a night where I was in the bed sleeping, and that homeless man thinking about him in that bitch bothered me so much that I got Jonathan up in the middle of the night, like, let's go bring him blankets. That was it for me. And I think what you're saying is absolutely true. Like, it varies according to your phases of life and where you are and your means and all of that.
Yeah.
But what really breaks your heart? Like, what tears you? What grinds your gears?
So I feel like I fall into a similar realm as you, where I really do love helping people, right? Yeah, because I remember being in college and being like the only one of my friends that had a job. And so like maybe there was a night we need to get something printed, and I would be the first one to be like, hey, like, because there was my friend, he came from the east side, and it wasn't very like great, so he was just happy to be at SCAD.
Right, seriously.
So he couldn't afford the printing. Yeah. And I paid for it because I had, a job and I had extra money and I wasn't really paying anything else. Yeah. So I've always, I think I've been that type of person. Like, even when I was taking the train to and from work in high school, I would keep my tip money to like give to the homeless people that I would see often. Right. So I think like, I don't like seeing people sad. I think that bothers me because
your thing.
Yeah, because it really it's honestly a reason why I felt like I actually had to close myself off a lot, because like I feel like I can feel everything. Yeah. It can be too much sometimes. Yeah. And I think now,
you mean Misty?
Oh,
miss.
No, but now, like, this is what I was asking you. Now that I'm in my 20s and I'm not, and I actually have bills to pay and things, and I don't have the means to give as much. Right. I feel. I know that there's other ways to give, like your time, right, and things like that. But I think there is this weird connection I have to giving monetarily that I feel like. I don't know, like I put this weird value on like money. On money. And being like, okay, this will for sure make someone feel better. You know what I mean? This will for sure solve at least the problem right now. Yeah. While I guess I should probably value my time
for sure
just as much, you know what I mean? So I think my thing is I don't like seeing people sad. I think that bothers me a lot. I don't know if that but the thing about that too, though, which is weird, because when you mentioned homelessness, and this is something I wonder, and this might be because I take a lot of public transportation and stuff, but I found myself I need to learn how to hold my ground more in those situations, because those situations people can take advantage of you. And like, I remember this one time, and this, again, I don't put the blame on that person. I put the blame on my boundaries and like being able to be like, all right, this is enough. This is enough. Like, you remember the time where I told you how I was walking to Banjo Coffee? Well, no, I was going to the print shop, and I was stopped by Banjo Coffee, and I haven't had Banjo Coffee. It's my favorite coffee place. Yeah, so good. Yeah, I haven't had their chai latte in like over a month or something because $8 for a latte. Right, it's a latte. So, but I was like, oh my gosh, I get a little treat because we're going and we're being productive. So I was on my way to help. Like, I was on my way to go get stuff printed, and I saw a homeless person in front of where my old apartments were. And she asked for my drink, and I was really not trying to give up my drink. So I gave her like 10. I gave her like, all I had was like a 10. So I think I gave her $10. Like, you can go get your own, or you can go like, whatever, use that. But she still asked for my drink. And in my head, I was like, okay, Sydney, don't do it. But tell me why in my head I was like, don't do it. My head was giving her the cup. You know what I mean? And after that, it wasn't like, how they always say God loves a cheerful giver.
You're not cheerful.
I know. I'm not cheerful. I was like that, because it was like that perfect fall morning where you just feel the crisp air, but it's not too cold. Right. And the chai latte was like made with love. Like, it was just so good. And so like for me, it's giving too much. Yeah. And I've done that. Like, you see me do that to friends too. Like, I will it's why it sounds so sad. It's why I self-isolate a lot, because I put I will put so much energy into like
helping
people and sacrificing things that maybe I care for or things like that for other people. That it's, I don't know. So
it goes the wrong way.
It goes the wrong way, but I don't know. So I guess I may connect with my purpose. Yeah. But I feel like I'm still kind of
figuring it out.
Yeah, because like you landed on like an exact.
But man, it took a while though, right?
Yeah.
I think this is a good topic for this week. And then it's crazy, but it's why I love this podcast. It wasn't what we planned to talk about, but no. I am feeling like finding our purpose and maybe digging up some resources and helping you do this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good thing. So what I would say, you said a couple of things I want to touch on too. The thing about God loves a cheerful giver. It's so funny. That's the reason that I don't tithe at my church as much, because I was giving 10% of our business income to our church for a while, and we give a lot. And I love that, but like I was not a cheerful giver writing that check to the church, you know. But that same check written to a homeless organization, or how we bought food for customers at Walmart, you know, for Thanksgiving, how we got all those gifts for kids for Christmas. That's my jam. I mean, talking about I would keep swiping, you know, and then tally it up later versus giving to the church. Like I'm writing this check for the exact penny, and that's that. Like we are square. But when it comes to helping homeless, helping kids, I had no idea how much I was spending, but I was going to buy every one of those gifts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's it for me. And it kind of ties into the cheerful giving, and that's one thing we're talking about as small groups. So it's all tying together. So it should make you happy. It should make your heart leap. You know, you should not be sad. Like, why did I do this? Was what you were feeling.
But I also feel like that's true. But then it's weird because I feel like a lot of things, there's a lot of variables for why that could be the case, right? Because I used to, the reason why like I didn't mind giving like to my friends in college, like, you know, whatever, if we're all going out somewhere and like, and someone's like, I don't have the money. I'm like, I'll pay for your dinner. Let's go. Like we're going to have a good time. Like the difference between that now, like then and now is the financial, right? The scarcity mindset. It's really a mindset, you know? Cause it's like, feeling like I don't know.
I think so I'm like, write that up. So one thing that I have is, like I said, it all comes full circle, because you know every week I think I'm going out of business. It's so funny that I joke about it now because I don't believe I'm going out of business, but like legit I would look at my finances, okay, this is it. This is it. You know. So what has really helped me is that because things fluctuate so much, I literally now believe that it's not my money. Like literally, because I have zero control over it. One day I have $35 in my account. The next day I have $350,000 in my account. Like just like that. And I cannot attribute, you know, like talking to my marketers and my marketing team and all of that, you know, you try to attribute things the way you can know, okay, oh, this increased sales, let's do more of that. But so much of it is just this black box, and it's just so hard. So I just kind of quit doing that and just trying to align with my purpose and believe that a higher power legitimately owns all of it, and I'm supposed to be a good steward, and it's doled out to me accordingly, like you would a good employee. If a good employee is doing good work for you, you continue to promote that employee, and you keep paying that employee. That's what happens. And also, there was this other, like a podcast or something that that was my YouVersion, one of those.
The reflections.
I was talking about how God compares it to it's a farming analogy, right? Like you sow, then you reap, right? That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
And So there's a lot of good analogies there or metaphors. I get those two phrases confused, words confused. But basically, you don't wait for the harvest to sow.
Wait.
You don't wait for the harvest to sow. You can't wait for the kale to grow to say, okay, now I'm going to plant kale seeds.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. You have to plant the kale seeds in faith, knowing that if you tend to it and you water it and God does his thing, his photosynthesis thing, that kale is going to grow. And for year after year, we have kale in our garden. So we know it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I know if I plant kale seeds, I'm going to get kale. And that's how you have to treat your giving. And when you do things, you just have to know that if I do the right things for the right intentions, good things are going to happen. And the beautiful thing about it, as you know, you plant one seed for a strawberry plant and you get lots of strawberries. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot cheaper to plant seeds than to go buy a strawberry plant. So all the analogies are in play there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I've gotten to the point of where I legitimately don't believe that it is my money and I have zero control over my finance. Like, I'm a good steward of it, mm-hmm. but what comes my way, I don't have any control over. And there's enough for everybody.
I like that. Yeah.
Yep. So that's kind of where I've had to get to on the money thing.
Yeah. So like, because if you could go back and tell yourself like in your 20s, because I mean, at that point you had 2 kids, mm-hmm. you're balancing a full-time job and being a mom, which is like a single mom at that, by the way. And so what
would I tell myself?
Mm-hmm.
I would ask if God is the manager and you're his employee, are you doing a good job?
That's so good. That takes a lot of reflecting too. And
like,
honesty.
would you so if you were God, would you hire you?
Oh man, I don't think so.
If you, and I'm not talking about like being a good person, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I'm talking about if you were God, mm-hmm. and your response, and then God's looking for somebody to manage his money. Mm-hmm. So like God is posting on Indeed, mm-hmm. I need a money manager. I need a junior money manager. Mm-hmm. I'm not expecting you to be like Wall Street broke or whatever. Mm-hmm. I need a junior money manager, someone who I can groom, into managing money. So I'll give them a little bit right now. And see how they do for a little bit. And, mm-hmm. and that's what God does, is in the Bible, right? God gives you a little bit, see how you does.
Gives you a little bit more.
See how you does.
Yeah.
So God's looking for a junior money manager, someone who could just manage, I don't know, $30,000 a year. Let's see how well she does managing $30,000 a year. Mm-hmm. How well do you think you're doing managing your $30,000 a year?
So I feel like, am I supposed to answer it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like, it's weird. I feel like I'm doing good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm doing but I feel like when it comes to, but I also feel like I do end up being a little bit self-focused. So I can mm-hmm. see areas where like I could, you know what I mean? Do more, right?
Do more.
Yeah.
But so the basics of this is going all over the place, but I think it's good. It's going to hone into something good because it does tie together. So we talked about this before. Did we do a podcast on mint? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Maybe we should let's do a follow-up this week too. How are you doing? Are you reflecting on that each month?
So I do it like every, I'll update my transactions every couple of weeks. Now it's kind of like
the flow. So you do look at it on a regular basis.
Yeah, I do look at it, and they send me emails too. Yeah. They're like, hey, look, something posted to your account.
Yeah.
So, and I will say, I feel like, I don't know, I get sad sometimes and I get happy sometimes. Yeah. So I feel like I'm managing it it's weird because like I feel like I'm managing it to the best of my abilities for the situation
that you're in
that
right
I'm
now.
in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird because I'm like, I want to say I'm doing a good job so I can get more.
That's not how it works.
Yeah. So I mean,
let me ask you this. I will say that when my business started to grow financially, and I've shared this with a couple of people before, but a turning point into my business growing financially was when I started giving financially. I will say that. It was planting the financial seeds. And not to say that you have to plant financial seeds, because I'm at a point now where because back then I would go broke giving. And I don't believe that you have to do that. But I do believe in the principle of sowing and reaping, sowing and harvesting. So I will say that I believe that it is important to, I believe that's the way that the law, so whether you are a spiritual person or not, you cannot deny that there is a relationship between sowing and reaping.
For sure.
Sowing and harvesting. Period. You put it down, you get it back, call it karma, call it gardening, call it whatever you want to call it. But there's a universal principle established of putting down and getting back. So I do believe that it is important to consistently sow intentionally, not accidentally, like plan to sow. And as a result, you will reap benefits.
Okay.
So what I would say, and I believe that this is strongly tied to your purpose, because God loves a cheerful giver. So I think it would be a great exercise for us to find some purpose exercises. Lots of, I can think of a lot of stuff. So I'm going to send you a lot of resources, and we're going to lock into what your purpose is. And we're going to use all these things about breaking your heart, like feeling good, where you can establish some boundaries and all of that type of stuff. And you intentionally sow, not necessarily financial, it could be like a volunteer thing. It could, who even knows what it's going to be?
Right.
I mean, we may find something that's going to be, who even knows? But something that you can put down every month or plan to put down on a regular basis. And let's just watch and see what happens.
I think that's a good idea, because like I think narrowing down what the purpose is will help me be, because like for now I feel like the most that I give is maybe money to like a homeless person.
It doesn't have to be money.
Yeah.
But I want you to continue to be responsible. That's the key thing. Because I do believe that for you to be blessed financially, you need to be responsible with what you have. Because we've seen do you know there's a study that shows that, there, out of all the people who are middle class and upper middle class or upper middle class, the group of people who have the most stable or have the most money in their retirement are teachers.
Really?
Are teachers.
But is that that's interesting.
And it's because of the discipline. And I'm going to find that study and see what the correlation is. Of course, teachers usually have decent plans, but it's also, I believe, tied to that humble mindset, the giving back on a regular basis mindset. So all that to say is that you don't have to have a whole lot now to end up having a whole lot later.
Yeah.
And there's not a direct correlation. A lot of rich and a lot of celebrities, people who make a lot a year, are broke in a couple of years, right? Because of not being good stewards of what they have.
Right.
And even if you're only getting like a teacher's salary, $50,000-$60,000 a year, you can end up having millions in your retirement. And people who are getting millions a year end up having nothing in their retirement. Right? Because it's all about being a good steward of what you have. So what I would say is we're going to take this week, so excited. This week, we're going to revisit your mint, how you're doing, set up some, have you set up budgets?
I think we set up, we kind of, well, I guess it isn't officially in mint, but we
set up budgets in mint.
But we set up
So let's go back into mint. We'll revisit how it's been a couple months, right?
Yeah, I think we did it in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go through your mint, see how you're doing, and we'll set up some budgets, just so you can see, and we'll make sure that we're buttoned up. Like, I would hire me to manage finances now. Like, yes, I do what I'm supposed to do. And the thing is, here's the thing. It's not so terrible when you don't pay who you owe if you communicate. But but you can't do a lack of payment and a lack of communication.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna take a look at things and make sure everything's buttoned up, and that you, at the end of this conversation, you would say that if somebody was making X amount of money that you're making, that I would give them, in their current situation, that I would give them this money to manage for me. Would you give me your money to manage for you?
I think so. But
why would you give me your money?
Well, because you're a really good planner,
Mm-hmm.
and you're really good at like setting priorities, especially now
Mm-hmm.
after our planning episode. So I feel like I would. And also maybe because you've shown that you've
Mm-hmm.
been able to, like, I think being able to see you go from like working a corporate job to being in a
Mm-hmm.
position where you're working for yourself, but you're able to help so many different people.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have I guess you have a good resume.
Right.
Right.
So I was watching this other podcast, and it was like, you look at the person who you admire in a certain aspect or for a certain thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you write down those qualities that you admire about that person, and then you make yourself a task list on how you can become that.
Oh.
And
okay.
it kind of flips it on his head, because if you just arbitrarily, I want to be a good money manager, then you may not do it. But if you could actually like picture that person and write down those things that you admire by that person, then we can create steps on how to get there.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. And so we know the specific things that you admire about me as a money manager, why you hire me to manage your money.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we can come up with some concrete steps on how you can become a little me.
Yeah.
Which is great. So we'll come up with those steps, and then we will we're going to review your finances to see where things are.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are going to hone in on your purpose this week.
Okay, sounds good.
How do you feel about it?
I feel like it's a lot to do, but I feel like it's good stuff to do.
How do you feel? Think about it. So let's just imagine the last few minutes that we have. Imagine when we sit back down here and you say, and I just want you to close your eyes. Okay. I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine yourself with plans and with small tasks that you know in your heart that you can accomplish, that will make you an excellent money manager. And you know you can get there like within a couple of weeks. Like bam, 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 everything is in place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be there in a couple of weeks. And then imagine that you've locked in on your purpose. Like, you know for a fact in your heart that your purpose is to do this, and it makes your heart sing, and you know exactly how to do it. And like, you're so excited that you shared it with our family at dinner for your sweet and sour. You called Jason and told him this is what you're going to do. You talked to his mom, like, this is what I'm going to do, and here's how I'm going to do it. And I know how to manage my money, and we're going to make an impact. And whatever that problem is, I'm confident that I can solve it in like 3 months. How's it make you feel?
It makes me feel like more secure.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes me feel like good. It's interesting. It's hard for me to put myself in shoes that I haven't really been in before. But I would imagine I would feel really fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So that's what we're gonna go for this week.
Okay.
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too. Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna fuel your fire.
Ooh.
And what's exciting is that we don't know what that thing is gonna be, but we're gonna find it.
We're gonna figure out the ballpark of it, right?
We're gonna get it.
Okay.
We're gonna get it.
Okay.
We're gonna get it. So we'll have a few meetings this week. We'll record everything, and then we'll come back and share.
Sounds good.
I'm excited. Okay, go. See you guys.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi. My mom went ahead and sent me some videos to help me get into the value spirit. So I figured I'd listen to those and write some notes down and get back to you on my thoughts on them. So let's get into it. I finished watching the first video and it was pretty good. These are some notes I wrote down for it. So some things that I pulled from this one was that we all have a gift, and it's our job to find out what our gift is and to put it to use and not comparing it to others, which I thought was really cool because I think that I do struggle a little bit or a lot of it with like comparing myself to others and not really seeing the beauty in what I have and in myself, and recognizing that maybe there is something there that I can put to use. I always see the potential in other people, and I see what other people are doing, and sometimes I do wish I had what they had, but not in a way where it's like I wish I didn't have what they have, right? It's just I wish I was able to have the capacity to do something in that greater scheme of things than I am right now, in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, so that's one thing I picked up. And another thing is that the universe puts a gift in others so that we can enjoy them. I thought that was really cool because I've noticed that I enjoy a lot of people's gifts, you know, whether it's that they're super funny or really good at telling stories or something along those lines, really good at making people feel welcome or great, have a really cool technical skill. I feel like people's gifts are super amazing, and I thought this was a cool point that we are meant to enjoy them, because I think that also takes away that jealousy of wanting to be just like them, because we don't have to be just like everyone. We're all handed our own set of cards, and they all have potential. So I thought that was really cool. And then the universe is always giving you things that you can handle. And I thought that was really nice because I knew this, but it was a really good reminder that, you know, anything that we are given in life, even if it scares us, is something that we can handle and that we can do. And I learned this time and time again, whether it's me getting different projects or commissions that I feel like I might not be good at, but then I do it and it's like, wow, that's so cool. I never drew this thing before, but it came out really great. Like, this landed in my lap because I was ready for it. So those are some things that I picked up from this video, and we're gonna be going on to the next one. So I have the first video pulled up on my screen. It's called The Parable of Talents Part 1 by Joyce Myers, Enjoying Everyday Life. So I'm gonna give this a listen while I am working on things. So let's do it. I also want to mention that these videos are sermons, but most sermons, even if you're not religious, come with a lot of gems that you can take and apply to your own life. So hopefully that doesn't steer you away. So the next video we're going to watch is Better Question Part 1 by Andy Stanley. He's actually our pastor at home. So or our pastor currently. I said at home. That's so funny. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm gonna give this a watch and I'll let you know my thoughts.
We're off on another tangent, but these size post-it notes are so great. You guys can get them. They are perfect for taking all the notes, like just the right amount. Because post-its, I've been running out of space.
Yeah, post-its are good for like one listing, but in the connecting like two together,
yes,
like this,
right.
kind of like
I have
make
all
it
over the place, but
yeah.
This is a good size. And Sydney was saying that she likes this size too.
Yeah,
because they're a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
And it has lines on them.
Man, yeah, it's a grid line to that one too. Maybe that's the thing. Okay, we digress though. All right, there are 3 of them. Okay, how to find your life purpose worksheets.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
All right.
So
do we have to fill this out?
Yes.
How do we fill this?
So what I'm gonna review it, and then you can see which ones you like, and then you can record yourself doing it at some point.
Oh,
is
cool.
That okay?
Yeah.
Great. All right, so let's go over it. So this is review your life purpose. The 4 circles. So if you love something, the world needs it. You are paid for it. You are great for it. It intersects with your passion, your mission, your vocation, your profession. Like that's your purpose.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Right? I thought that was good.
I know the one I'm paid for.
Right. So that's it. That was a really good.
Yeah.
And then it has these questions. What do you love to do? What does the world need? What can be paid for? What am I good at?
Okay.
Bonus questions.
And do you think with what am I good at, I think I need to go and ask other people?
Like, there was one that had that too, so maybe we can combine these.
Yeah, like I need to ask like the people around me, like, what am I good at? Because
Yes.
I feel like it's easier, like, again, like I said, with other people, it's easy for me to see like what other people are good at. So maybe it's the same way.
Yes, that's really, really great. Okay, so then go through that. Okay.
So what is this?
And the reminder of the questions. Take time to contemplate. Let's see what else. There's a video. I haven't seen that one, so I don't know. Okay, go down to the bottom, third circle. Say blah 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 blah. Video link. Okay, so that may be one, and I feel like it will be a combination of some. Yeah. So maybe that will be a good one to start with.
Okay.
All right. So then now let's look at the 21 questions purpose worksheet. Okay. Beauty and struggle. Why purpose matters.
And what are these questions?
Okay. So excluding the major events of your life, what are your 3 best memories? The ones that make you feel good. So these are good.
Oh, that's a good question. What are your favorite memories, excluding the ones?
I don't know, but I know my purpose already. This is not about me.
Oh, okay.
All right. And then some common themes. This is good.
Okay.
What are you passionate as a teen, a child, or teen as an adult? And what environments you feel most at ease? These are good questions. How did you spend if you had time with no responsibilities? When were you in flow? These are good. What makes you angry? Injustices. What scares you? These are good questions. I think when you go through the other ones and these together, this is going to be good.
Okay.
Who are some people you feel jealous of right now and why? These are good questions. 3 things you do well, strengths and attributes, pain, what breaks your heart, which Annie was saying, this is tying it all together. This is great. I feel proud of myself because... What would you regret if you died without having a chance to do, say, or resolve? That's great. Okay, so these are just some more good questions.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Then let's see.
And you're going to send these to
me?
I'm
sending all these to you. Question. Okay. All right. Here. When I was 10 years old, I lose track of time. If I knew I couldn't fail, I would. Money wasn't an issue. 3 things I appreciate about myself. 3 things I can do for 3 things I can do for 3 different people. Favorite thing to do in my free time. Now review your answers. How do you feel? Circle the ones that light you up and make you feel alive. There was 1, 2. What's this say? This is good. Refer to the 6 suggestions and the answers you wrote above. Use the following chart for 2 weeks to help you discover your purpose. Do 1 thing every day. So this is good. So maybe after you do all 3 sheets, then you can find some things that you want to try to do.
Okay.
And then you journal about it. And then we see how it goes. We can reflect.
Okay. Are those just reflection questions?
Yep.
Okay.
Right. So I think this is good. I feel like those 3. Let me see, were there any more? I think that was it. This is the Find Your Purpose worksheet. Yep, I think that was it. And there was one that I saw. I must not have liked everything else about it, but there was one that I saw that said, ask other people about what you're good at. So I think you're right about that. So I want you to incorporate that as well. Asking other people. Then you're going to compile all your stuff. And then we're going to do this one.
Okay.
Do 1 thing every day related to identifying your purpose, or write down your experience every day. And then we'll reflect it after 2 weeks. How do you feel about it?
I feel good because I feel like they're asking the right questions.
I think they're asking the right question all together.
Yeah.
So I'll send these to you and we'll just follow up along the way. Yay! Cool.
Hi there. Hope you're doing well. Today we are about to fill out the worksheets. I have them all on my iPad, so I guess we are about to figure out this whole purpose thing. Yay! I am gonna go ahead and fill them out, and I guess I will get back to you whenever I am done, and I'll share my thoughts. Well, my loves, I have finished the worksheets. Aside from the end of one worksheet, which was a 2-week thing, and I didn't do it. Mom's gonna be so mad, but yeah, How do I feel? I think I feel pretty good. I feel like they asked a lot of really good questions, and some of the worksheets asked the same question, and I surprisingly had a different answer each time, or like I refined my answer each time. So I'm feeling really good. I just don't know if I found my purpose, but maybe that's because I should have done the 2-week thingy. But also, I think it might just be a matter of just still working through it, because I think I narrowed it down. Like, I realized that something that I really care about is racism and colorism and the impact that that has had on a variety of communities, not just the Black community. I realized that I care deeply about the art community, and there's just, So I think these are some cool things to start from. And I also realized that traveling is something that is really important to me. And it's funny because I don't really travel all that much. But like when there was a question about like, oh, what would you do if you were to like die? Or if you knew you were going to die in a year, what would you do? And I was like, I would travel the world. And even as a kid, I loved adventuring. So it makes sense that I would like to travel. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited to discuss this with Mom. And I guess we'll tune into that next.
So I did my value exercises. I did not do the 2-week one.
Okay.
So I'm letting it, putting out there. But that's something I really want to implement, because I like the habit of like doing something, a little something every day that kind of contributes towards something that you care about, that's outside of like work or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So something that I think I'm just going to challenge myself to do, and maybe before one of our other podcasts, I'll just be like, little update.
Yeah.
But the questions were really, really great questions. I noticed that on the different worksheets, a lot of them were kind of similar.
They're similar.
But what was good is that because they were similar, I kind of started to think more deeply each time the question was asked. And I realized that there's a few things that that I really care about.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it, I think this is the beginning of finding.
Yeah, and it could take time, but go ahead, share. I'm so excited here.
So something that really makes me angry, which I realize is like things like racism, colorism.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's so funny. I used to be so angry when I found out about colorism because, of course, I'm having a light skin privileged experience.
Yeah.
I was really angry, probably more angry than the darker skinned people. But also because because people thought oh, well, she's light skinned, she's cool.
Right.
I would peep stuff. It wouldn't be nice. Things that most people with darker skin wouldn't peep from people in your own community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know that's something that genuinely makes me upset, just injustice based on the way that somebody looks.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of said racism / colorism, because I don't think it's just about race. I think it's about there's colorism in India, there's colorism in East Asia,
in the Black community.
In the Black community, literally in every community, this thing exists, and it's something that makes me really sad and angry, because I think everybody's beautiful, so
yes,
that's one thing. And I think also because I've been judged on my appearance as well, I can relate. So another thing that I deeply care about, which this one opened it up, man.
Let's go.
There was a question. I was like, what is something that you could that you would try to prevent from anybody going through it? And I was gonna say any type of a relationship abuse.
Yeah,
I would like to, because I realized that's something that ignited my passion for creating. It sucks that sometimes trauma can lead to you having this fire, to create things so I think that's why I create very feminine pieces as well. I notice I'm always portraying feminine figures in a state of very of power, divinity, and those things. And at first I didn't really realize why I was doing that, but I think it was my own way of healing and reminding myself that I'm powerful because of what I've been through.
Right.
So if
you get all the emotion. No. But that's good though.
Yeah, but so I think when I hear other people go through that type of thing, like, I know what that's like.
What it feels like.
Yeah. And no one should be able to, like, steal that power from you.
Exactly.
So I guess that's something I really care about.
It's got you all up in the...
It does. I think it's something I'm just... Absolutely. So I think that's something that I'm definitely... And it's, like, not just for women, obviously. Like, everybody... Anyone could be in a state of where they're being manipulated or abused by a partner or someone that they trust. Right. So I think, like, that's something I really care about. Yeah. So those are my two things I landed on. And, of course, like, you know, I love animals.
Yes, you did.
I went to PetSmart over the weekend, and I just got fucking depressed, man. I was like, why? The only thing that looks happy in here is the chinchilla, and I'm pretty sure gonna be happy. And I'm pretty sure it's because it was sleeping. It was all up in a ball like this, just like
they always look so content to me.
Yes, man. They're just like, yeah, the chinchilla.
I mean, like, it sucks in here, but it's cool.
It's cool. I can sleep. All right, bet. You know. But, like, there were, like, the fish that kept swimming forward, and there was nothing forward, like. You know, and then there was the cats there, you know.
Oh, they had cats there.
They had cats. Oh. There was, man, and I'm like, every time I go somewhere, you know this, because ever since I was a kid, I was like the same way. Every time we go to like a pet shelter or anything like that, I just want to take everybody home. Like, and get the car. Yeah, and it's always been my dream, like, to have like a farm, not just to like grow things, but to also have like a rescue. You know what I mean? So maybe I won't be able to. I can't keep every single pet that I come across, but it'll be cool to go to like animal shelters and like different things like that, and like just
foster them
then keep majority of them, because I know I will. Like, I know I'll have like 12 dogs. Yeah. You know, they like foster them until they're able to have like a really good home, and then like to make sure like there's credentials that people would have to meet. You know, I don't want to be extra, but I kind of do want to be extra, because something I care about, like, you know, like their spaces need to be like suitable for a pet this size, or have they had pets in the past?
Right.
And, you know, there's things like that.
Get in the list there, like,
Yeah, and there's like a place near us called Paws that like does that same thing. Like they really try to make sure that the homes that they're letting their animals be like homed to, or people who want to adopt them, like that there are safe places for that animal. So I think like that's something that I really care about. And I also love cows. Like I think I would rescue cows. I'd rescue horses, because you know, like the racing industry, a lot of times horses will be put down after like they're done, after their prime, even though they can still clickety clack. Yeah, like, they can still go. So like, you know, like I think so. Those are my three big things I think that I really deeply care about. But I know that the one is definitely that the relationships and the I guess that type of stuff.
So and the colorism
for sure. And I feel like the funny thing is, I feel like the with the relationship one, I feel less qualified to do, because I feel like I'm like, you need someone with a degree, you know, to kind of like there's only so much I can do when it comes to aiding to people, you know, in that way, because like I would imagine that people on like hotlines, they have maybe some type of degree or credentials to be able to handle certain types of emotions or things in a way. So I do want to find a unique way, or some way that I can like help that goes beyond like just donating something. You know, I like actually want to do something. And with colorism and stuff like that, that's also tricky, because like, you know, there are like marches for like certain like causes, right? But I don't know if I've never really seen anything that was subject to the color of one's skin, because that's not I mean, it is a racial thing, but not really. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are my things.
I think those are great. So I have a couple of thoughts.
Okay.
Because now that you have, because once you find your purpose, it's like, ooh, and then you just looking for now you can look for opportunities, you know, and that's the thing, because opportunities will just come and doors open. Yeah. But one thing that I thought it would be kind of cool, possibly just throwing it out there, like, what if a domestic violence group or whatever, what if they needed a mural painted?
Yeah.
Would that not be like the most amazing thing ever? Or what if they do like a publication like every quarter or whatever, and they need some artwork design for it?
Yeah. Or what if like, I think that's something that I could even like do myself. Like maybe not like, I mean, I would love to do a mural for like, you know, a publication thing, but like something that I feel like I could do myself is be like, get my artist friends and be like, hey, let's do something for women empowerment and like launch this zine, and all the proceeds for people who purchase the zines will go to something.
What is a zine? I don't know what a zine
is. A zine is like a magazine.
Oh, okay, gotcha,
like,
gotcha.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But just with art and stuff.
Got it. So, not putting pressure on you at all, but you do know that March is Women's History Month.
No, it's just been so close. Like
so close.
It's so close. It's like 2 weeks away. Well, 1 week away, really.
Yeah, like 1 week away. But maybe, and I'm just saying, hey, maybe an idea would be to say that just 10%, 5%, whatever percent you want it to be, of your proceeds in the month of March will go to a domestic violence awareness group or something like that here in Atlanta.
And also for my quarterly planning, I already had like to do something for women's like a piece or a series or something. That was like, kind of like a loose idea.
Yeah.
So maybe like what you said, but it could also be maybe specific to those pieces. Like if people purchase these pieces,
that is a great idea.
Then, like you said, 10%, 5%, or I'll just say like a portion, goes to like you said, like a domestic violence or like something type of thing like that.
Yeah. So if you want to, this is why I'm a Christian, you guys. Seriously, like I do firmly believe in the importance of believing in a higher power because they pull things together for you. So I say this to say is that I happen to partner with SCARS, which is a domestic violence awareness group. It's not here in Atlanta. I can't remember where she's located, but I have all her information because she was the victim of domestic violence. So that's who we put together the care packages for.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So she's the sweetest lady ever. So shout out to Chahara, because it's CH''HARA, Chahara Davis. So pretty.
It's so pretty.
So pretty. Chahara Davis from SCARS. So that would be a good opportunity. But if not her, I'm sure there are groups here in the Atlanta area also.
Yeah, but that's already like, you make it easy.
I already have her contact information. Sweetest lady ever. She would love it.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And maybe like with the donations, just like also sending the prints that I made.
That would be so great. Yeah. So if you want to, I'll give you her contact information or send an email to just like hook you guys up.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
That'd be so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that already feels a lot easier, especially because it's tied with my art.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Because then that's cool. I didn't expect it to all tie. I felt like it was like, you know, kind of like what I guess what you do is still tying with your business.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like
the farm and
and hiring people, but it all contributes to it helps them, but it contributes to like
to the business as well. Yeah. And that's what I liked about one of the exercises that you did that had like the circles, because I do believe that it's in the center of like what you're paid to do, what you love to do, whatever those other circles are, like right in there. And for me, that's how it all came together with the farm and my business and my passion for the homeless community as well. So it all came together, and look at it. Look at it. It's like, okay, you got your purpose. Here is your thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so one of the questions that they asked me on there, I want to know your answer to this.
Oh, go ahead.
If you could do anything like without any like financial limitations or anything like that, what would you do? And it doesn't have to be anything like.
No, I know it. I would build. So it's kind of what I want to do with the farm and homeless, and then recently unincarcerated. I think it's a better word for unincarcerated, but people who are recently out of prison because they tend to become homeless because it's hard for them to get jobs.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is, so my idea of, having the community garden where they're working and earning a living wage, like not just earning like peanuts, but earning
an
actual living wage, like better than minimum wage, like an actual living wage. And they're able to get good food from the farm. And then I want to build like not these apartments or townhomes or condos that when you drive by, you're like, oh, I bet it's a project. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about these condos that are down the street from us.
Yeah.
Like those with the space underneath with the coffee shops and like a CVS and little shops.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about space that's so nice that people would be like trying to find the leasing office for them. I'm like, no. Those are only for homeless people or recently unincarcerated people.
Kind of like the newer assisted living homes that they're having.
Yeah, but I want like a green space. I mean, I want it so nice. So nice. Like marble countertops, top-end appliances. Like I want it hardwood floors, thick molding. I mean, I want it so nice that when they come home from working on the farm, they get to just live.
That's really lovely.
Yeah.
My answer was selfish. Your answer was so I was hoping you were gonna say something selfish. You were like, yeah, I'm gonna give the people who deserve it the works. Like that's so well, I wish that we could all just like live like that. You know what I mean?
Live like what?
Like the way that you kind of described it. A way where everyone's getting paid a livable wage.
Yeah.
So so there was this thing, I forgot, it was either a podcast or an article I was reading, but it was basically talking about how there's not as many like third spaces. So the first space is like your home.
Yeah.
Second space is like your work.
Okay.
Third space would be like a park or a place that someone could go after work, like a bar, a coffee shop. Yeah. And how there's not many of these third spaces that people are going to. And I think a really big contributor to that is that the economy right now is
trash.
It's trash. And on top of that, people are getting paid trash. So there's people working three jobs. It's normal for people to work 2 jobs. It's normal for people to not have the weekends
It's
off.
because, let me insert, I've recently found out during our journey of becoming a B Corp, completely unbeknownst to me, that the minimum wage in your state and even the federal government's like their standard minimum wage is significantly lower than the known living wage in your state. In Georgia, the minimum wage is $5.25.
It's awful.
Or $5.15. The minimum wage for federal government is $7.25, but the known livable wage in Georgia is $25.38.
And so if someone's making $5.25 an hour, how are they supposed to come up with that extra 20? How are they supposed?
That's like you need 5 jobs.
Yeah.
5, and even if you're paid minimum wage, you need 3 jobs, 4 jobs.
And you need to not sleep like ever.
So how the hell are you going to get to a third space?
Yeah.
Your third space is your bed.
Yeah. So something like that makes me sad is coming out of college and just seeing, because college kind of had, all it has are third spaces. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. You got your dorm, you got your classrooms, and you have all these other
common
places
areas
to go hang out and go get coffee or whatever. So then coming to the real world, you would imagine that college life would kind of be like a baby real life. Right. No. You get out of college and it's complete shock.
Yep.
It's complete
wait a minute.
Hold on, what?
Right.
I need to earn 5 times the rent to be able to live in this place. There's places like that, Mom, where the rent will be $1,600, but they're not going to lease it to someone unless they make 5 times the amount.
Yes.
But then how are people getting paid 5 times the amount, even working 40 hours a week? So I just wish that life was
fair,
easier. life was actually life, because like something, and maybe this is also something I'm passionate about when we're talking about it, but and maybe also because I'm just someone who I'm in the real world now. But I don't think like we're supposed to be living like this.
No.
You know?
And then you imagine on top of that. So at least for you, I mean, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, because I have a blessing of having supportive
parents. That's what I was about to
say.
say. So you had the blessing of living here, going to a great college, and all that type of stuff, right? Imagine somebody who's just got out of jail.
Yeah.
Or who is sleeping on the street. How are they supposed to make it?
Yeah.
How are they supposed to make it? And then what really bothers me are the people who will look down on them and be like, oh my God, I bet you're just going to buy drugs or alcohol with it. First of all, I venture to say that if I had to sleep on a bench every single night, I would be drinking and on something too, because you just need to cope.
With the way your life
with the way your life is, because it looks hopeless.
This also gets me to another thing. There should be more, like, it really was prompted by this company that like makes these bath teas and stuff to remind them of the bath houses from like where they used to live. You know, and you know what's interesting is in like Japan, like these other countries, they have like, I think even like Greece had them. They have like bath houses, you know what I mean, that were public bath houses. So it is common human decent, like it's taking care of yourself, and it actually affects your psychological well-being to be clean, to be able to take a bath, to be able to, you know what I mean?
Got it. And
something that we don't have here, I just feel like everything's a setup, if I'm being honest. Something that we don't have here are bathhouses.
Okay, so now I'm going to do a bathhouse too.
We should do a bathhouse. But that's actually clean, you know what I mean? But for people who are on the streets, who are trying to get a job, because guess what? Someone's not going to want to hire them, number one, if they stink.
Exactly. Which is why... not to cut you off, but which is why I think the idea that we're having about working on the farm is so beautiful. Because on the farm, everything is equal. We all stink on the farm, right? So there'll be no judgment. We're all dirty. We're all in it together. And I just firmly, I can't wait to experiment with this idea. But my dude up in LA is already doing it, so I can't wait to talk with him this week, hopefully, about this. But just the level of like equality, that no one's better than anybody else. And I want that to boost their ego, you know, make them feel proud of themselves. Like we're all the same, you know, we've all been through some shit, but we're all here trying to accomplish the same thing.
And I think that's a beautiful lesson. It's like that you can take away from the farm, because
so many great lessons.
Like, I guess it's just a lesson of being able to humble yourself and remember that like we are all like mirrors of each other in some way. You know, someone who is without a home is just someone who grew up in maybe a different background than we grew up in, and one thing led to another. And they didn't have a family to come home to. Like, you know, like things like that. So I think that's something that, because I know, because like for me, there have been moments where I just had that ego of being like, I'm better than thou. You know what I mean? And having that ego is really, 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 really dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Because anything can flip, and you can be in that exact same like position as someone else, you know? So to have that empathy and something. Back to the question. A question that this
I want to get your answer too.
Oh, okay. But first,
go ahead.
So first, the one question that I asked was like, what do you think the world needs more of? And I said love. Like, I think this world needs more love and kindness and compassion, and because I know that from the love that I was shown and the compassion that I was shown when I didn't even feel like I deserved it, like was something that kept me going and made me realize, hey, maybe I do deserve
nice love.
He did. Oh, man. But even just like random people, like, you know what I mean? Random people can be so like nice. And And I think, like, for me, your 20s are all about healing your trauma, babes.
Yes.
So I think for me, like, I didn't, when you go to, like, high school or, like, things like that, like, because we don't know anything when we're in high school, we're very judgy and very, like, we think we know everything. Yeah. But I think when you get into real life, everybody is so humbled. And because of that, there's, like, really a lack of judgment. Like, maybe you'll come across mean people, but really, like, something that Jason has taught me, which is so crazy. Jason's the type of person, my partner, by the way, Jason's my boyfriend. But he's the type of person who will just go up to anyone and just say, like, anything. He will. Yeah. And at first I would always be like, don't do that. I'd be like grabbing his sleeve. No! And he'll still go and do it. Yeah. And it'll turn out okay. Yeah. Like, people are really, really, really nice. So I think, like, something that I've realized is, like, people have just shown that they're constantly really, really, really nice. Yeah. And so to be able to, like, there's no harm in spreading that kindness and love, like, all around, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, but my answer, too, if I had all the money or, like, didn't have any limitations with money was I would travel.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Just experience.
And meet different kinds of people. Yeah. And see all kinds of different things. And, like, I wish I could speak every language. So, like,
right.
Yeah, so I could really be like, let me just, like, know know about you. Because that's what I want to do. I just want to see
But
things.
You know what, Sydney?
What?
You do speak every language because you have your artwork.
Oh, that's so good. I was like, what do you mean by waving? I guess everybody knows. Hi, miss.
You are such an embarrassment. No, but your artwork.
That's true, yeah.
So true. And your smile.
Aw.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's true. There are, like, certain things that are just, like, common ground, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
good stuff.
Wow. So yeah, this is about, like, I feel really good. Like, I didn't, to be honest, I thought all this was going to be a bunch of hoopla. Like, I was like, man, I ain't going to find my purpose. This is just going to be some just, like, but I think coming from answering those questions with, like, an open mind and an open heart, like, it really did help. And I think I did land on, at least, like, now I know some things that I care about. Because before I was like, what do I even care about?
Right. You were getting selfish.
I was getting selfish. Because I am. I'm a Libra, babes. Not saying that Libras are selfish, but I'm vain. So, and I've always, so I didn't realize that there were some things that, like, irked me. And I was getting worried. I was like, oh my God, am I a bad person?
Right. I remember we were going, like, in the dark side for a minute.
Yeah.
But look at you. Yeah. And I can't wait for you to give us updates on how March goes. This is going to be so great.
Awesome.
Are you excited?
Oh my gosh, you're bouncing me too.
I am so excited for you because I'm going to tell you what it does for me. I had two things that came up. Oh, how long are we? We're at 40 minutes. Oh my goodness.
But it's okay because, like, the first 20 were just us, like, talking.
Yes, exactly. So there were two things that came to me. The first thing is that, and it has to do with finances because I think, like the Bible says, the love of money is the root of all evil. And we do, like, although we try not to put so much weight on our finances, we do because you just do need finances to make things work, right?
Yeah.
So, especially, like, in my position where I have 11 employees,
yeah, that's a big thing.
It's a big thing. So anyhow, what is done for me is and it's because my belief in a higher power is taking my worry and attention off of finances so much when I see things that are moving forward in my purpose. Because once I feel like I really do have my purpose and I know that that's the highest value, right? So now finances aren't the highest value anymore. Working towards my purpose is the highest value.
Yeah.
And then when I see that moving, that gives me hope and assurance that everything else is going to be okay because we're going to make this thing happen. And obviously I can't make this thing happen if I'm broke.
Right.
And so having stable finances becomes a means to an end and not the end.
Yeah. You know what? So, coming from someone, who has put a lot of weight on it, just like a lot of pressure on it, I noticed that for me, like kind of what you were saying a little bit, but like if you do the right thing and you're, like you said, moving your purpose or doing your best, the universe or whatever you believe in will handle the rest.
It will handle the rest.
And so again, it kind of brings me back to like the gym and taking care of yourself and taking care of your mind, and writing down your feelings, and like, because these are all also other things that I've been doing in the past few weeks that we've been kind of talking about. This really helps me get rid of that unnecessary worry that does not matter, because somehow everything works out if you just put your energy and do your best.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and it's like to me, when I was getting ready this morning, I was thinking it's kind of like a flower, or like a plant. And I do believe that so many lessons can be tied to the garden.
Yeah.
But when you think about a plant, the ultimate goal of a plant, or like of a flowering plant or a fruit bearing plant, is to bear fruit or to show flowers. But that plant is not going to get to that point if it doesn't have good soil, if the roots aren't strong. Like, all these other things have to be right for you to get to the end result of showing the flower. Because if a plant is not being taken care of, like, you may get leaves, but you're not going to get the flower. Right. Or you may get flowers, but you're not going to get the fruit.
Or the flowers might last as long.
Exactly. All those sorts of things. And so I guess for me, when I was thinking about it this morning, because like now, amazingly, my finances are like, everything is in order. Like, like I just kind of took a step back and looked at everything like, oh, this is great. Like, we actually have like some money in the bank to kind of do these things. And it happened without me focusing on it, with me just focusing on my purpose.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, the finances and the other stuff are like the flowers that will grow, that will blossom. Just like how we went to the yard, like, oh, they're blooming.
Yeah.
But we seeded them on time, we tended them on time, we gave them good soil. Like, we put in the work on those right things. And then as a result, you're just going around about your business and you notice, oh.
And the funny thing is, like with your analogy, like with the fruit, like the flower is, like, let's say this plant is giving off fruit, but it's not because it's going to eat its own fruit. Right. It's giving off fruit or even the flower for bees to like pollinate, you know what I mean? And do their little dance.
Right.
Or for like someone to pick an apple.
Yeah. It's like a gift.
It's like a gift. It's like
a gift.
You take care of yourself so that you can give off your own gifts to the world.
Else. Yeah. And that's the purpose. And so I do think this is so great. This is so great. This may be my favorite podcast. I do think that maybe a lot of times why people don't see themselves blessed as much in the financial area, or more of these aesthetic or whatever, more showy areas, it's because the purpose is not in alignment. Yeah. So if your purpose for I think this is in the Bible, like we should just read the Bible. But like, if your purpose is to do all the stuff for your own glory, right, then you got it wrong, because it should be for other people.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think that's the trap of social media, though, in the world that we live in.
The world that we live in.
Because before social media, it was TV.
Yeah.
And the issue is that you just see people at the finished product, right? You see them with that beautiful house. You see them going on these awesome trips. You see them, you know what I mean? And that could be like, well, why don't I have a beautiful house? Yeah. Or why, why am I not going on these awesome trips or whatever? And you don't really get to see, it's not shown enough, the work that people put in on themselves.
And the why.
And the why. And or even how, because like what's really cool about YouTube in particular, you can go back a few years back, and see that shadow work, see the struggle, but also like see them making lemonade out of lemons. Yes. You know what I mean? And I think that is something that that I'm realizing, which is why I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna get me some shelves for my room. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, shoot, I'm not in that floor to ceiling like apartment, but I'm gonna get plants for my backyard area.
Right.
I'm gonna get shelves and like move things around to where it feels like a really cozy place to be. Like I'm gonna do the best with what I have, because what I've also realized is the universe gives you more responsibility and more things when you've proven that
you're responsible with what you have, which is in the Bible.
It's so
as well.
Yeah, it's really important.
And in Spider-Man.
And in Spider-Man.
And in Spider-Man.
It's really important, you know? And I think it's something like, for me, I keep relearning this lesson over and over and over.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've definitely read this lesson in scripture.
Yeah.
But
well, it's because once we start to get something, then we sort of feel ourselves a little bit, then we kind of forget the lesson. Then we have to go back and learn again.
Yeah. And that's, you know, that's okay.
That's okay.
Because I feel like there's always a different feeling when you learn it again.
It is.
You know? And
it's like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh yeah, I forgot. But now it's so profound.
It's so profound. And it feels so good when you are doing good, and like when you're doing stuff that's good, and then you look and you're like, oh, wow, look at me.
Yeah.
And then just don't start feeling yourself. Like,
just keep doing good.
Which is in the Bible too.
Yeah.
It literally says, keep doing good.
Yeah.
Like it's a verse.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep doing good. So one of my own personal goals from this exercise, besides doing the art to you know,
which I can't wait to see. And
also I want to do more art that shines a light on like injustice. I also think I do feel like I do that in my art a little bit because I don't paint people in like most of the time in like white or brown skin tones. Most of the time I really try to paint people in like just like colorful skin tones. Yeah. I'm like, not to say that, because obviously race matters, but to say that we all can identify with this person, and sometimes taking the skin color out of it and making it just like a really colorful, definitive being, you know what I mean, can have it so everyone can connect with it. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I want to do a better job at like showing love to others and not being like afraid. Because I realize the reason, like my anxiety is all fear, and especially social anxiety, and I think it's, you know, again, it's knocking out that childhood trauma of like no one wanting to be my friend, and like me still feeling like I am that child, you know, because I am, but just being confident enough to be like, I was so proud of myself this weekend. I told someone that I liked their hair, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like I get confronted a lot with like people being like, oh my gosh, I like your hair, or you're really pretty. And I know that makes me feel good. So I want to do more of that. Or like look at people in the eyes more and like smile at people more, not like be so afraid of just showing love and kindness out of fear of rejection and stuff, you know?
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Also was thinking, on your website, when you show you have your artwork, do you have a description of what you were feeling when you did that piece?
I feel like I don't go into depth of it, but I do, like, I just kind of like describe what's happening in the piece, right? But not really like, but I also don't think I'm very, something that I don't think I'm very good with.
Chat GPT, baby.
Because I don't think I'm good with words.
Chat GPT.
It'll just end up being thrown up and like not making sense. So maybe I'll give that a try. I've also like, I started filming like for YouTube, like my drawing processes. So that like I can just like talk over it and like do a little draw with me and talk over like this piece and things that I care about and stuff like that. Cause I feel like with Instagram and that fast paced content, there's only so much that someone can only know me so well unless you commission me, and we end up talking a lot. Yeah. So I feel like that will also help for people to kind of like understand the piece,
right?
And stuff like that.
And so I'm gonna say something that we can, because we've been on, but and this to lead into one of our segments that we're gonna have coming up. So what we're gonna try to do is see how well it goes. Is to have a few episodes that tie into a particular topic that will tie into the guests that we have coming up for that month. So next month, I know we have Justice, who is like an ad wizard. So what I was going to say is that to boost the SEO of your website, use ChatGPT to incorporate certain SEO words in the descriptions of your pieces. And then as people are searching for certain terms about maybe emotional trauma or whatever, if you have those words in the description of your pieces as they authentically tie in, then the search engine will pull your website up to the top.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So we can talk more about SEO and how we can marketing from a digital point of view.
That's so cool.
In that way too.
I have so many questions for Justice.
I cannot.
And I have to bring my notepad.
Yes.
Because it's going to be so much that I'm not going to be able to keep in my brain.
So good. He is so great. Okay, awesome. Are we wrapped up?
I guess so.
Best episode ever. We said it a few times, but I love this one a lot.
I do too. I feel like, the more we do this, we're able to flow more too. It's not just like, welcome to Leaf Nodes.
Right.
Crickets.
Right. Let's get into it.
What do you want to talk about? Yeah.
Right.
So it was good.
It was really good. Awesome. See you guys. Thank you for listening to Leaf Nodes. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment below and let us know what your takeaway was. Or if you're listening, take a screenshot, post on social media with your takeaway. This will help us reach more small business owners just like yourself. If you would like to leave us a review, head over to your favorite podcast app and drop that 5-star rating. Your feedback helps others find our show. And until next time, we hope your business takes root and grows.